Alright, here we go. It's a beautiful day here, so had a little crystalline precipitation. It's a nice day for this to be putting this video together. So getting on with the review and update. In previous yearly updates, I was sharing. First off, let me just say, I think this is the 6th or 7th year that I've put this video together on a yearly. So, and looking back in the last previous years, the main topics have been the 100 monkey effect and how, you know, the changes are flowing over to the larger percentage of the population. And one of the biggest reflections into the collective that I've seen in 2016 was how more and more people are standing up for themselves. More and more people are speaking up, more aligned with collective, say, oneness. Speaking up, the falsehoods, the fake news, the propaganda to manipulation and control is coming out. It's coming out, and therefore, you know, that's all over the news these days regarding, you know, corruption and so on. And that is a result of people becoming aware of what exists. All this corruption and this manipulation and control has always been there. The only difference that really happened in 2016 is more people are aware, becoming aware. They're able to see through the falsehood, see through the illusion to a greater degree, and therefore that's the reason why all this stuff's been coming out in 2016 regarding, you know, all this what's viewed as corruption and all this stuff that's been going on, but it's always been there. And the main thing is that before, people could not see it. They were just blind by what could be described as the whole system. They really couldn't see through that veil of deception in some ways. So regarding the 100 monkey effect, and those who don't know what that 100 monkey effect is, you can do your own research and so on. But I would have to say that 2016, we've definitely moved into another level of, say, collective awareness regarding the 100 monkey effect. I would have to say that it's definitely in another level of, say, to the collective regarding that. And regarding past updates, the other big topic that I shared was regarding the in 2016 when I did this update, and every year I do these. When I share information, I'm only sharing what's coming to me, what I see, and the information I've collected and received. As the year goes on and everything unfolds, then I have, it's easier to have a comprehension about what was shared. And for me personally, in the last update, I talked about the blueprint. 2016 would be the anchoring of the blueprint. Even though I shared that, I didn't have necessarily, as the year went on, I got to grasp a more, say, clear understanding of what that really meant. And, as the years have been going on, regarding, we're talking about blueprints, it's much easier now to comprehend what that is. So, going into a blueprint and my description of how to describe that now is, in 2016 we grounded what could be described as, say, a fifth dimensional blueprint of what would be the new Earth. It's almost like a blank slate. It feels very blank slate, from which to create on. And in some ways, when I'm describing a blueprint, and the way that it's come to me to describe it is, if you saw yourself as a seed, and this seed was directly in the center of your chest. As we integrate and embody more of our expanded self, we integrate more of our expanded awareness, our remembrance, our connection with, say, the earth, a connection with our collective self and beyond. The seed essentially starts to, like petals of a flower, and the structure of that, the framework of that flower petal, the edge of it basically is like the blueprint of our personal seed blueprint. And the more that we activate and integrate our expanded awareness or embody our expanded self, it's like the petals of flower, becoming activated and going from the seed center and expanding out with the different petals of the flower. In a way, in 2016, we activated, or say, some petals of the flower became larger. So we were able to integrate and fold some of our petals of the flower of ourselves. And this, what I'm describing, actually unfolded into, say, everything that connected into every single thing that there is within this world, into nature itself, into the earth, into the everything. So it's essentially, in a way, if you were looking at one flower and you just saw a different flower was a more evolved version of the same flower, basically that's basically it. It's a framework of the same thing, just in a different way. So if you've used that flower and the outline of a flower, and the only difference between one flower to the next is the color, it's up to us, in a way, now that this blueprint has been established and grounded, to what colors are we going to allow to flow through this blueprint? What patterns are we going to establish in this blueprint? That is the part that is up to us individually and also collectively. What are we going to create? So, going on, and the other note that I had regarding, the 2016 moving into 2017, was that 2017 is when things get real. And back in the beginning of 2016, I was getting that information. 2017 is when things get real. I really didn't understand what the heck that really meant. And even though I probably, at the end of 2017, I'll have a better idea, just as many of you will also. The only way that I know how to describe that now is that 2000, now that the blueprint, say the New Earth blueprint, has been grounded, has been established, that is when things really do get real. It gets real by we are stepping into what is actually real out of the old illusion of what was false and what was not, say, in alignment with, say, our divinity, our oneness, our collective beingness. Essentially stepping out of the separation more into our collective beingness. That's the easiest way I know how to describe it. So couple things, the other things that I shared in the previous update a year ago was relaxing into the now, and this very much goes into my own classes and workshops that I'm putting together now, is relaxing into the now. And as time has gone on, talking about the ego over the years and transforming the ego and so on, it's even more clear to me now how the ego does not have the capability to truly know what the now is, because the ego is always living in either the past or the future. It doesn't really relax into the base of the U. If you imagine a U shape in the base of the U, the ego, our ego minds, our ego level of awareness, it never relaxes into the base of the U. It doesn't have the capability of it. That's the reason why it always goes back and forth between the future and past. It goes back, future, past, and creating that level of awareness in that constant struggle between the past and the future. So, as I shared in the past, in my last update, is to relax going forward, relax into the U. Release, the struggle of always living in the past or always living in the future. Living in the now is a state of awareness. It's a state of living. It's not a belief. The same thing goes for what as I and many others have described as the new earth. The new earth is not a belief that exists in the future. It already exists in the now. It exists here right now. It's a matter of the new earth is a level of vibrational awareness that exists in the now. That is another thing that was coming to me to be very clear about, because so many people see that the new earth, or talking about the new earth and so on, is some type of belief, when really it's only using words to describe a level of vibrational awareness. It's a level of vibrational living that we have the choice to live in or not. Again, if we live through the ego truly does not have the capability to understand what the now moment is. When we relax, release the ego, allow the ego to transform, we get a glimpse and start living in the space of more connection with nature, with the earth, with the solar system and beyond. And the only way to truly know what that means is to experience it yourself. It doesn't matter what I say or share or anyone else shares, or in books or in writings or in what they say in this world. It's up to every individual to experience it yourself. You can't take the words of another and expect to truly know what this means. So, take of this and allow it to assist yourself in a way, integrating more of your own awareness of what I'm sharing here, what the new earth is. Discover it for yourself. One of the other things that I was putting together is going forward into 2017. It's hard. It's not necessarily the easiest thing to put in words, because what I'm seeing is, it's almost like there is the creative time that we are living in 2017 is almost like it's evolving by the minute, it's evolving by the hour, by the day. It's not very easy to put in a forecast of what the update is, the big thing for 2017 and going forward. because we are creating it literally right now. And so like what we are creating today is what we're creating is creating tomorrow. And that's always been the case in previous time. But in 2017, it's a little bit different. It's a little bit undescribable in many different ways. And even though I've been doing these updates and sharing videos and writings for years, it's beyond words to put into and share what 2017 really means and what it means for things to be real. All I could say is that we will find out. We will find out one way or another what lies ahead, and what lies ahead is what we are creating. And there's no doubt within me that that's the way it is. That's what's going to happen. So, going forward, do what aligns with your heart. Release the fear, release the judgment, release the worry, release the struggle, no matter where you are on your path. If things come up regarding the new earth and you don't align with it and what I'm sharing here, so what? The main thing is find happiness in your life. Find what brings you joy and happiness, and disregard everything else. Disregard all the complicated information out there regarding all these changes, earth changes, all this crazy stuff. Align what brings you joy and happiness. That is the key. Relax. So, going forward into 2017, we will see what happens, and I have no clue if I'll be putting another one of these videos like this together at the beginning of 2018. I have no idea, but we'll see what the heck happens. I'm no longer going to call this a New Earth transition update, because New Earth is already here. So I'm not sure what I'm going to call this going forward. But the key is find your passion, find what brings you joy and happiness within, instead of what's on the outside bringing you joy and happiness. And allow the flower petal that you are to unfold. By relaxing into the now, finding your joy and passion, it allows that petal to unfold, and that flower, and we can radiate whatever colors of the rainbow through that flower, through that crystalline geometric pattern or shape of whatever level of vibrational awareness that we choose to live in is going to unfold. So radiate. Allow your joy and passion, happiness to radiate into the world. And that's all basically we can do individually is, and as I share in previous time in my writings and so on, we are, through our personal transformation, we transform the world. And we do it by what we focus on, what we live by, what we live in, and so on. So I think that's going to be it for this one. I will be seeing you again and see what unfolds. We will find out. Thank you, my friends. I'll see you next time.